Hello and welcome to the Dark Yard, where we take a daytime stroll and reveal all of our ride secrets. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, hope you had a great Halloween. Welcome to our channel. Welcome to our video on daytime walkthrough. This is our ride cart that we've used for the last 2 years, the bottom part of it, the wheels and whatnot. And the rest of the cart is the body of the cart that we got from Art of the Haunt on YouTube last year. Some of the electronics we'll talk about later. We had a good Halloween. Before Halloween too, this is how you open up the cart. I have it on a hinge, 2 hinges. Open up the cart, and then I have a really highly sophisticated bungee cord that I use to close it up and keep everybody in once everybody is in. It held pretty much the weight we had was 1 adult, and they could take a child if they want. We not really good with 2 adults yet. We'll talk about that more in a little while, but just not sure of the weights. I'm trying not to go over 300 pounds. And a lot of adults together are over 300 pounds, so we didn't want to mess with that on our tracks. We'll get better at it. That's the hot tub steps we use to get in board. Now here it is at night, getting in the cart, and away you go after that. And this is our yard. We had a little fire going for people when they weren't on the ride. And pretty much this is the ride extension that I made this year. Here's some fall trees for you. And we use the Lowe's Reaper Band again. I've used those guys for the last 3. This is the 3rd year using them now. I wasn't going to have them part of the ride, but I thought it's a nice effect, having them on the ride. And yeah, they come over here. They see the Reaper Band for a little while, lead singer, guitarist, and the drummer, and then they move on. We move past the lemon tree, which we had some Freddy lights on. Freddy Krueger, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you, you know, that kind of stuff. But they didn't really go off. They were on motion, but they would go off when you didn't want it to, when it was windy at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever. So, like right now, as you see, I'm surprised it didn't go off while I was shooting this. But yeah, so next year we're definitely going to do more with this little passageway right here. Put more lights up, put a scare or something. A lot of my time was dedicated to the ride extension and the motorization of the ride. I didn't think it would take me so long. I thought I was leaving enough time. Apparently I didn't. So I was going to the last minute. It was stressful. Here you see I have some styrofoam graves and some battery operated candles, along with a fog machine that you see here, and the whatchamacallit, grave digger, not grave grabber, the grave digger who talks and whatnot. I got him last year from Home Depot. And here you see Emmeline. She was a good scare that we used last year as well. Put her in a different place to where she'd get close to the ride, but not really on them, even though her hand went in the ride one time. And here is the grave digger we used again. Of course, he's in the cemetery. And thought that was a good place for him. A lot of this stuff, like I said, was last minute. There's a fog machine. I did not leave enough time. Here's a new little area we made, my wife and I made. We got some tablecloth that looked like hay. We got some actual little hay bales from Lowe's. Got some pumpkins. You see the speaker there. And we did a thing from Atmos Effects. I got a little video from Atmos Effects, and I shined it on the pumpkins. That's what they're made for. They talk and tell jokes and whatnot. So it was pretty fun. Sometimes I'll let it go longer so they can hear the joke or the riddle by the pumpkins. Other times I'll just move it along if the person looked bored, the people look bored on ride. Here's a Guardian of the Gorge that we got from Home Depot, which is really cool. It wasn't expensive. You had good head movement, talked and whatnot. Scary, about 7 feet. And so we decided to make a whole pumpkin theme right there. Here, as you see, I have Nothing by the Peach Tree right here. Not enough time. I didn't leave myself enough time. No scare over here. We had the Caretaker from Lowe's last year, who you see in the Haunted Mansion Disney ride. And then we put old Barry from Spirit Halloween. We put him in this shed this time. We had him in the woodshed last time. He's always a good scare. I like him. Pretty easy to put together, quick. Shine a light on him, ground light, and just, put it orange or yellow. I think it was orange. No, I might be wrong. Orange or yellow. And here's our Swamp Fisherman. I did all this work on the house, renovated and painted it, and then the Swamp Fisherman's motor goes out. Last year, he didn't have audio, and he was rocked back and forth. This year, when I put everything together and it was almost time to have people over, he just stopped working. So he was just, sitting there doing nothing. But at least he got to sit next to a nice house, right? And here's the side of our tent. This tent, you'll see in a minute. We're going around this curve first. There's nothing really here. We put some lights in this little pear tree right here, and that was about it. This is a tent my wife put together. I had the animatronics Dean and Marie from Home Depot, and she put clothes on them for the Dia de los Muertos scene, or Day of the Dead theme. Really decorated. This is where I would serve drinks. I would stop the cart with my remote, ask them what they wanted, either an adult or child drink, whatever, soda. And then this is all the papel picado you see up there, and all the rest of the decorations. Well, my wife really made this tent look nice, which is lit up and whatnot. So it was fun. That was a fun little break. I like having that break in the middle of the ride. Makes the ride last longer, and they get to look forward to the second half, chill, have a little drink, and look at the scenery. And then, so you'll see here's a little bit of the tracks right here. You'll see I had to put a lot of 2x4s under the tracks to make it level. This is such a low part of the yard. This is where all the water drains to. So had to bulk that up so the ride wouldn't be really low and off. Okay, and this is a scene that I put together last minute. This is my cemetery fence I've used for the last 3 years. That's 6-foot Grim from Spirit Halloween. His motor stopped working too, so I just made a little scene with him and the skeletons. So I have to try to fix him and the Swamp Fisherman this year if I have time. I'd like to make time. Here's some of the reinforced tracks I had to make before Halloween, since some of the uprights that hold the rails up were bowing inward and the wheels were going off the tracks. I had to hurry up and make more boards, like we didn't have enough to do. These are the spiders, the Spirit Halloween 2 spiders that we used last 3 years. And here, like I said, this is a cemetery fence I made, and the headstones with the battery-operated candles, which worked well. And you're going to see the grave grabber that we've used the last 3 years. He's cool. What else do we got? Oh, we got some raids that my wife put up too. And she did all the lights on the tents, lights strung up over all the tops of the tents. We had to put the tents, the leg poles on risers because our ride cart was so high, it kept hitting the top of the tent. So we had to raise these up and put weights on them and everything. It was kind of a pain, but it was worth it to have the cart be able to go through. And then we bought a couple of tents that were actually higher, so we didn't have to do it. Here's the caretaker from Lowe's I talked to you about before, Disneyland Haunted Mansion ride. He's always good to have in a cemetery and fairly easy to operate. I had him on a remote where I could time it and hit the switch and make him go, since he doesn't really go by motion sensor. He doesn't work very well. And here we have the Nightcrawler from Spirit Halloween. We put some tablecloth on there and set him up. His wrist broke, I guess, from last year, and I had to tape them all up and fix them, and he worked. So I'm not complaining. Here we have a panel from Target that we got a couple years ago. That's Haunted Mansion. Again, my wife put that up there. We were doing stuff last minute, and she helped decorate a lot of these tents and make them look really nice. The tents were high, as I mentioned. There were lights strewn everywhere, so that really helped with the scenery. And here we have my first attempt at a lightning room, and I want it to be really cool with lightning and thunder and loud, as you see here. What I did was I just got a long piece of cardboard and I cut some window holes. I wanted to do it a lot better, but I didn't have time again. Here you see my boom box, the Perfect Storm setup I got on Amazon, and a lamp. Okay, now the Perfect Storm CD that came with it was not dynamic at all. It was sorry. So you had to wait forever for the thunder and lightning to happen. Here you see me experimenting. I wanted to do a lot better job. I was going to have a big wall, make some cool looking windows, but in the end, I just wanted to hurry up and get it done because I didn't even do it last year. Here we have the Widow from Spirit Halloween, and we had some lighting on her right here, a red light that we use. We really like these lights, these ground lights that you plug in. They work well. These are Haunted Mansion panels you see here that we also got from Spirit Halloween. Here we have the 6-foot animated ghost from Lowe's. He was a good animatronic, had good lighting, good voice, as you can hear, and we used a ground light on him and made it blue to match his blue eyes, which went well. This was the end of the ride right here, pretty much. My wife put black plastic at the end here so you couldn't see in or out until you got there. And then when you came by this sign that we got from Target a couple of years ago, that was pretty much the end actually. And I really liked this sign. It was relatively cheap and I like the spookiness of it and the way it looks at night. So I like to have that in different areas of our hunt. And basically the movement of the ride went well, which I'm going to show you right here. A lot of test rides. We rode the ride many times before we even had people over to make sure the weights were good and whatnot. But sometimes stuff happens. Some of the uprights bowed inward and made the wheels come off the rails a little bit. So I had to fix those uprights. And I also made many new boards that you see are brown throughout the ride, which I used as reinforcement boards to assist the other boards that I had made repairs to. So overall, it went well. The days leading up to Halloween, we had no issues. And on Halloween night, no issues. We rode it with family and friends many times. We used several batteries throughout the process. They worked well, changed out pretty easily. I wasn't able to connect them all together. I didn't have time again. So here you're gonna see, I get a close-up of our wheel system. If you're interested, I've done videos on how we put our wheels together, and one is a how-to. And also I show you our electrical system here that we worked with, the motor wheels and all the parts that went with it, the electronics. I've also made a how-to video on that on my channel if you're interested. It identifies all the parts and how they all connect together. So overall, successful ride this year, learned a lot, made mistakes, made improvements, definitely gave me some insight of what we should be doing next year, whatnot, what I can do to make the ride more stable and less stressful around Halloween. And that's true for any hunter, right? We gotta make improvements so we don't drive ourselves crazy by the time Halloween hits. But we're not done for the year yet, so don't stop watching. We have a Thanksgiving dark ride coming up, and that's gonna be right around Thanksgiving, hopefully, that I can get that video out. It's gonna be fun, not scary, but it's festive. So smash and scare that subscribe button so you can watch our Thanksgiving show. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.